Marcy Ventel is joining us in studio today. Marcy is a coordinator in our Career and Technical Education Department, and today we're talking about some of the wonderful outreach that y'all are doing for our middle school students. But to start off, I do think maybe some of our audience members would be surprised to know we have career and technical education in our middle schools. So Marcy, can you tell us what does that look like in a middle school setting?
We do have career and technical education in our middle schools, and it looks a lot like high school, to be honest. Careers are all about things that are going to happen when you leave high school. So you will see middle school students still participating in things like learning how to cook, learning to be engineers, and playing with drones. It's very similar to the high school experience.
That is awesome. We just saw in the story before this an opportunity where O.L. Slayton was having a CTE program in their after-school hours, but you have started doing a lot of outreach during school and helping kids kind of get involved when they're in class. Can you talk about some of the outreach that you've done?
Yes, we've started a Lunch and Learn program, which is where we push into our middle school campuses to give them an opportunity to talk with industry professionals about what they do. The really exciting part about this is that it's not another teacher coming in and telling them what they should do with their lives and telling them what their opportunities are like. So we brought in Covenant as one of our partners with our Health Sciences Advisory Board. They sent two registered nurses that work in outreach, and then they also sent someone who works in their equity and inclusion department to come out and talk with kids about what it's like to be a nurse or a doctor. But that's just not enough. Like, listening to somebody talk about an opportunity is not enough to get you really excited and to give you a chance to decide if that's what you want to do. So we brought in stethoscopes, pulse oximeters, blood pressure cuffs, thermometers, all kinds of tools in a lunch, like a casual lunch setting, and we let students play with those and learn how to use those with an industry professional. So you're not just getting your blood pressure taken by another doctor, you're holding a cuff, and maybe you're taking your principal's blood pressure, which actually happened at Slayton this past week. So it removes this barrier between like the professional side of health science and lets middle schoolers actually pretend to be those people for a time. And then we capture some of their information, like their names, so that we can follow up with them in high school and make sure they understand what opportunities are there for them.
That's awesome. And then something else that I know you've done with our computer science students is actually you had I think from every middle school, they got to come over to the ATC for a special event here.
Yes, Computer Science Education Week was in the first week in December. That also happens to be the week where Grace Hopper's birthday is. Grace Hopper wrote the first natural language programming language. So we brought in 8th graders from every middle school in Lubbock that had the opportunity to come, and we sent them through 5 different hands-on stations. There was no talking head at the front. They learned how to build towers of code. They actually completed circuits with Code Ninjas. That's another one of our community partners. They wrote some code using Google's Hours of Code, and they even created cipher machines out of Pringles cans. So it was a lot of fun, and it gave these students an opportunity to say, hey, if you're really good at math, you might actually like computer science, and there are lots of jobs that pay a lot of money in computer science.
That's awesome. So if anybody is looking for more information on our career and technical education programming, where can they find that?
Well, you start off on your campuses and you talk to your CTE teachers and find out what they can tell you about their programs and other programs. From there, you go ahead and visit with your counselor. And if you want to know more about CTE in general here, we have a counselor here at the ATC that can visit with you, or you can contact me directly.
Awesome. Well, Marcy, thank you so much for joining us on Highlights today. We appreciate you spending some time with us.
Thanks for having me.